Hey guys, it's Doc, and today we're going to talk about diagonal cutting your lawn. How it can help, especially if you have a bumpy lawn, if you have an older lawn like I have with a bunch of rut marks and all kinds of problems and issues. Diagonal cutting can sometimes help with that, so let's do some experiments. Let's cut some grass. Hold on one sec. Hey guys, it's Doc, and interesting point being that my wife and I downsized 3 years ago. The kids moved out, obviously, so we downsized. We sold the big dream house and we moved into this smaller house that's about 14 years old. And so we've owned it for 3 years. And what I really like about this lawn and using this lawn in videos and these other lawns in the area is that they're just average lawns. It's an average house. They really didn't put a lot of thought and care into putting the sod in when it was installed. So what do we have? We have a bunch of construction debris all around the house. We have roots growing everywhere. The previous owners ran a riding lawnmower the same direction for 9 years, and so I have these rut marks that go all through the lawn. Leveling helps somewhat, but of course when you level, you're putting out 1/4 of an inch or 1/2 an inch of sand when you do those large levelings, and that's not going to take up a 2-inch rut mark, so it just takes time. And I have a pretty decent sized lawn here. I think I'm about 17,000 square feet. So today what I'm going to do, I'm going to go over some of the diagonal cutting I've been doing, especially focused on the front, but I'll also show the back, and how sometimes diagonal cutting can really help out when you have some of those rut marks. But you got to think about it. You got to plan for it, because it's not easy, especially if you're using something like a riding lawnmower. So let's talk about that. Hold on one sec. Okay, so let's talk about lawns, and let's talk about rut marks and the different terrain features that we have. Everyone would love to have a perfectly flat lawn, but obviously we don't. Lots of us have rut marks, bumps, humps, holes, divots, whatever you want to call it. It's uneven. So let's picture this. As your mower goes along, most lawn mowers have scalp wheels, but if you don't, even if you have a reel mower or have a rotary mower, your wheels or even scalp wheels are going to fall into these ruts and divots and so forth. So if I'm cutting my lawn traditionally, and if I'm following along the rut marks, what can happen is the wheels or even scalp wheels can fall into those rut marks, and I can get the scalps or scarring that we talked about in the last video. Now, if I cut the opposite way, another thing can happen. Scalp wheels and wheels can drop into those rut marks, and you can actually scar and scalp the humps or the high points on the lawn. So just changing direction from one way to another way is not always the answer. But once in a while, you can actually change up your cutting pattern and go to a diagonal. And what that does, when you cut diagonally, you take off the chances of wheels or even scalp wheels following along or dropping into those ditches all at the same time. And what you'll find is that a lot of times you'll get a more even and more smooth cut. Now this isn't always true, but it's definitely worth a test that you can try it on your own lawn. Alright, so let me use my lawn as a perfect example. This is my front lawn, and the last owners of this property constantly ran the lawnmower straight up and down here. So every single time they cut the lawn this way. That's for 8 years. So what happens? I get rut marks all through here where those tires have compacted the soil all the way through. Well, it's kind of hard to shift direction and cut this way with a big riding lawnmower. So it's almost like you have to cut it. If you're going to do it that way, you got to cut it with a reel mower or a push mower, a regular rotary mower. It's really hard to do it with a riding lawnmower. Again, my rut marks are all running this way, and my wheels can actually drop into these rut marks, and I can have uneven cutting and scalping and scarring. If I do come this way, again, my wheels can drop completely into that ditch. I can have scalp wheels, both of them drop into it and scar. But if I go diagonal, there's less of a chance for all my wheels and scalp wheels to drop into those ruts and all the time. So it's just something to think about, and I really encourage you, give it a chance, give it a try, and see what happens. The first time you do it, don't cut low, keep it kind of high and try some diagonal cutting, and that's what we're going to do today. Alright guys, so let me set up the rest of this video for you real quick so you understand. Some of you follow my videos. Some of you, this may be the first video you've seen, but I'm gonna explain it. About 3 weeks ago, I scalped my front yard down to basically dirt. It was brown. I'm gonna put up a picture of that right now. So this is what my lawn looked like about 3 weeks ago. I scalped it down, took it down to bare dirt. By the way, you don't want to do this late in the season. It was ugly, it was nasty. And what I've been doing since that time is I've been cutting it almost every 2 days on a diagonal. So I'll cut it diagonal one way, diagonal another time. So I'm switching back and forth on my diagonal. And the reason why I'm doing that is to help the scarring issues, because when you scalp low, you get scars and scalps, and allow that to all catch up together to the green parts. So if you watch the last video, you understand that. If you don't, then fine. After the scalp, we'll put down PGF Complete and water, and that's it. And I'm telling you, if you don't like to cut grass, don't use PGF Complete, because it's going to make your grass grow fast. Now let's talk about the back. Unfortunately, I had some family health issues come up. So I had that to deal with. I had a little bit of traveling to do. So, and my irrigation system isn't complete out back, so I kind of let it burn out. It doesn't look bad when you're standing there looking at it, but when you go up in the air in a drone, here's what you're going to see. You're going to see my hot spot areas. You're going to see my burnout areas. You can see the areas with construction debris, because I really just didn't water it. I'm in a mini drought, almost 3.5, 4 weeks with no rain, 94 to 97 degrees. Horrible. It's just been burning out back there. But when you come back down to earth and you look at it, it actually looks nice. And I'm going to put up a picture of it, put up some video of what it looks like here in a second. It actually looks really nice. The back is actually very healthy. I just started watering again. But I want you to understand, so when I go up high, it looks horrible, but when you're down low, it's a totally different look. Now, what's interesting, the front was easy to do because I'm doing it with a reel mower, which means I get to the end, I just do a turn, and I come back. On my back, I had to figure out a special pattern because I've got a pool on one end and I've got gardens here, and I don't have a way to turn around. So I had to figure out a way to do that. I think I did pretty good for the first time doing it. You'll see it's a real unusual cutting pattern, but I think it worked out really well. And I'm fairly happy with the fact that I didn't have a bunch of scarring and scalping. And overall, I think I'm pretty happy with it. So I'm going to put up that footage. By the way, PGF Complete is in stock right now. There's thousands of bags sitting at Amazon. It all hit this week, thank God. So there's plenty of it. You need to get it out. That's your fall fertilizer. Get it out now. Get it out now before temperatures start to drop in about 6 weeks. So you want to get that out. The next thing is we got a bunch of giveaways. PGF Complete giveaway is happening in just a couple days. I'm doing a lawn spreader giveaway, and I got a big mystery giveaway I'm going to do in a few weeks. Again, all you have to be is a subscriber, and you go over to the website and you look for the big links that say sign up for the email alerts. The email alerts, we use that as a random number generator. That's how we pick the winners. So that's why you got to be signed up over there. Normally, I don't put up a whole bunch of cutting footage and just run, half an hour of cutting. But I think I'm going to do something different today. So if you're pissed off at your boss, if you're at work, you're bored, or if there's nothing on TV and you just want to chill, I'm going to put up a bunch of cutting footage today. Normally, I don't do that. So last part of this video is basically going to be front cutting and rear cutting without a whole bunch of talk and discussion. I'm just going to let it roll because I don't think I've really ever done that. Just put up cutting, cutting, cutting. So if you want to see lawn cutting, that's the part of your video you want to watch. So before I go to all that cutting, the front, what I'm doing is I'm using my reel mower, and I'm doing diagonal cuts every couple days. The back, I just started irrigating again, coming off a drought, and for the first time, I'm trying to figure out some kind of pattern that I can do with my riding mower to cut it diagonally. So that's the setup for these two things. Again, I'm just going to let the footage run. Put some music to it. If you don't like the music, push mute. I don't know. Anyway, so let's let that footage roll. So what's my conclusion? Not too bad. It actually was kind of a tough test because the lawn the back was in such bad shape and I had so many dead areas, but overall I'd say scalping wise and scarring wise it did really well. I'll probably start that pattern back here probably pretty permanently. Doesn't look too bad. So this is the next day. I cut it last night and I'm pretty happy with it. Now someone had a question about ornamentals, plants, flowers with PGF Complete. Yes. Yesterday I went by, I grabbed a bag of PGF, and every single plant on my property, including the trees, the knockout roses, banana trees, shrubs, gardens, everything, I just took handfuls and threw it at the base of it because it's a 412. It has micros, it has humic, has iron, and my knockouts, as you can see, like my knockouts are just crazy. But even in my plants here, this is all PGF Complete, trees, flowers, everything. That's all I feed them now. And again, I just throw big old handfuls at the base of it and just either water it or let the rain carry it into it. It's a slow release. Even my potted plants. This testing area with the orange flags, it's the grassy knoll, and we've got some 2020 products we're testing back here. And man, this area looks really nice. And I think one of the reasons why, just so you know, is because, see the big trees? Now that we're getting later in the year, this gets shaded out a little bit in the afternoon so it doesn't get full sun and dry out as much when I was gone. But man, this grass over here is just crazy. Let me show it to you. This stuff is just beautiful. Really fine, super, super dense. Let's go take a look at the front real quick. Man, it's bright out here. It's gonna be hard to see how nice this actually is with all that sunlight. But man, it's just gorgeous. Yes, I said gorgeous again. So I've done 5 diagonal cuts on this after my scalp. Completely all filled in, nice and thick, beautiful. So basically, one of my conclusions is give diagonal cutting a try, especially if you have an older lawn or a rough lawn. If you have new sod, this wouldn't be bad. In other words, instead of just consistently cutting it straight, do a little bit of diagonal to keep any ruts from building up. It's worked out really well. Don't forget, guys, click subscribe, and if you want to be signed up for our giveaways, go over to the website, link below, and just sign up for the email alerts. That's it. Talk to you later. Bye.